Hello and welcome to NG Fishing. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Avanti Stand and Deliver Power Pole 8 meters. I purchased this today. Let's get it out and see what we've got. So we've got the pole out. This is a put together pole, and we've obviously got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections to the pole. Now it states that it comes with two top kits, which is what you see here at the back, which are pre-elasticated with quite heavy elastic. We'll talk about that later. But the surprise so far with this pole is you've actually got a third kit. This part here, these 3 bits together here, are an actual third top kit. With this really thin one, it's very bendy. So you could put a light elastic in it for roach and stuff. If not, these 2 here would make quite a nice little top kit. So that's the Avanti 8 meter pole. We'll go through the top kits in a bit. First, let's put it together and give it a test on the box. I've got the box set up already. Let's put it together, see how heavy it is. I'll be back in a second. So I've got the whole pole set up now. It's full 8 meters with the top kit on top. It's not the lightest pole in the world. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's got some weight to it. But the feel of the pole feels really nice. It's quite stiff. There is some flex in the tip, and we'll talk about the top kits in a moment. But you know, for a pole of this price, now the RRP on this is $49.99. I picked it up in my local Sports Direct for $24.99. I've been looking at them for a while. I've seen them in quite a few of Sports Direct shops, and really for the price you can't really go wrong with it. 8 meters for most commercials is fine. You'll be in that kind of gully. I don't have many commercials around here, but at 8 meters I know I'm in slightly deeper water. Now this pole is designed to be a power pole for carp, and the 2 top kits that they come with are supplied with elastic, a 12 and a 16. It's difficult to understand which one's the 12 and which one's the 16, as they're both the same colour in the top kits that I've got. So that's about the main part of the pole. We can have a look at the top kits closely, because I think you know, I've done a lot of pole fishing over the years, and there's a few things that you're going to need to do with this pole, especially the elasticating side of it, before you go fishing. Partly because if you don't, you're going to lose fish, for sure. Either fish, or you're just going to lose your elastic. And if it's the only thing you take fishing with you, which for me is quite often the case, I'll just take my pole. That's the end of your fishing trip, and it could be over in not long at all. So we're going to have a look at the top kits. I'll be back in a moment. So now we're going to look at the top kit. Now on these top kits, they have what I would class as a traditional pole connector. So you would pop your line through there, slide the little plastic collar over the top like so, keeps your line in place. Now they're fine, and they've been used for years. There's another thing you can connect to the top of your pole called a Dacron Connector, which I'll show you in another video. I've got an awesome tip on how to make them, so look out for that one. So with the pole connector, you know, you look at it like that, it looks fine. You know, the elastic's coming out nicely, it's very smooth, and the contact feels great. But give me 1 second. If you pull it apart, dun dun dun, comes off. Your elastic goes shooting down your pole, and you've got to re-elasticate. Now that's fine, I don't have an issue with re-elasticating a pole. I've done it many times before, so that's not an issue. Now the time that would be an issue is if I was on the back. So if I show you the end of the elastic there, you can see it's just slipped off. You know, and if you were fishing, first fish, your elastic, you know, it's gone flying through, and you're not sure what you're doing. Not good. So I'm just going to whip this piece of elastic back through the pole, and then I'll show you the knot that that we use to tie those pole connectors on. So then when you're fishing, if you do it before you go, when you buy one of these, if you buy one of these poles, you'll know what you're doing. You'll have faith in the knot. It's not going to slip, and you'll be able to enjoy your fishing. Right, I'll put the elastic back through, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, so when you've got your elastic through, normally you would just tie this off straight away, but what I've done here is I've tied a little knot in the elastic to stop it going through, obviously for video purposes, but also it's quite a good idea to do it yourself if you're elasticating for the first time, because then it allows the next part to be that little bit easier. Okay, so what you would do is you can pull the elastic to the tension in which you want it to be. The bungs, which we'll get onto later, which is at the bottom of the pole, you know, are what I would also class as traditional pole elasticating kit, really. So we'll show you those as well. They're you know, pretty standard, but we've also got to make a few changes to some of those as well. So to pop this little cap on, this is what we do. If you pull your elastic out, make a little fold in it in half, like so, wet it, and then what you do is taking your end cap, is you slide it on. Now this can be fiddly, and it's very fiddly with a camera in front of me, but we'll give it a go. So wiggle, 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 it's going. See it just coming through now. It's just coming through. Pull it through. So basically you've got a loop now of elastic. Now pull it so you've got plenty to play with. Wet it again. Good old saliva is good for this one. Now taking the end piece, there's a tiny hole. And what the best way I found with these is to thread that on as well. So just fold it in half, just wiggle it through, don't rush, just take your time, it doesn't take long to do. A bit more. There we go. So that's now slid on. So now this loop goes over the top of your pole connector like so. Add a little bit more saliva on there. Pull it down. Now you see it's sat on there like so. This piece now can come over, making sure your elastic's sitting at the back. got to make sure it's sitting at the back like that, otherwise the top parts might not fit. So keep it moist with the elastic. So that just clips on, there we go. So now you've got this random little knot out here. What we tend to do is snip that off with a pair of scissors. Now, to prevent it slipping, now I can honestly say I've used these pole connectors, or this style of pole connector, for a long time, and I've always done my elastic that way with it going over into a loop. To prevent slippage, just tie a little knot. Just tie 1, 2 times around, back through, tiny little knot like that. That will prevent the slippage. If you trim nice and flush, so it sits like so. So now I know that elastic from this end, that connector's not just going to come off when I'm playing a fish or what have you. So now to look at the bung. So the bung is what sits in the bottom of the pole, and like I was saying, these poles have what I would class as quite a traditional bung. So this is your bung. So as you see, you've got elastic wrapped around there. Now these are set up quite well. They've got a little. They've been tied down, and then they've taken up the slack. Now this is what is good with this type of bung, is that you can tailor it to your fishing. So if you're after carp, you might want your decent carp, you might want it tight. If you're after small carp, you might want it loose, and vice versa. The only thing that they've done is sometimes I've got one that this part here is too big. What I mean by it's too big, it fits in the pole fine, but it doesn't go far enough down. So I can reach that with my finger, which is great for changing it. When I go to add the number 3 or number 4 section, it's the pole. The number 3 still wants to go in more, but it can't because the bung's in the way. So that's easily done. That's easily sorted by just taking out the bung with your finger, give it a little wiggle, out it comes, just cutting off a little bit more with your scissors or even a Stanley knife. So that's your bungs, that's your top kits. So that is the Avanti 8-meter pole. Comes with two power top kits already done, and a third top kit for you to elasticate, or potentially make into a cupping kit. We're going to have a look at elasticating that at some point. So look out for that video on elasticating a top kit. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your fishing.